Well, this is a silly one. It was a few years ago when I drew it, and I was living in Germany, as evinced by that picture on the wall. And I'd come back to London to pick the brains of a wonderful musicologist, preeminent scholar of Hugo Wolf. His name was Eric Sams, and he had written this seminal book on the composer with whom I had become besotted, Hugo Wolf. Eric was also, you might know his son, Jeremy Sams, who has been for 20 or 30 years a fantastic librettist and translator of all the operas into English. Anyway, Eric's other claim to fame was that he was a code breaker at Bletchley Park, and I was thrilled to bits to meet him. Malcolm Martineau, the pianist, and I invited him to the Wigmore Studios, and we knew he liked a nice glass of wine, and so we asked him to come through some Wolf and Schumann with us, which he did. We hoped in our naivety that we could pick his brains about the war. How naive is that? Anyway, doesn't matter how many lovely glasses of white wine we plied Eric with, he battered us off like so many mosquitoes. Lieder, German song, for me is all about nuance and detail, and of course, so that's what this silly cartoon is. There's micro Schubert and micro Wolf and daft machines, and there's a fella looking through a telescope, and there's a satchel full of notes there. That's my satchel. More Schubert and Wolf scores, and endless discarded programs, as any singer will tell you happens, and reference books. And on the wall, on the door of the lab, it says E. Sams Microanalysis Lab. And I did it really just to remind myself of a fantastic day I'd had with Eric and Malcolm discussing the finer points of Wolf, even if we didn't get a single word out of him about his war experiences at Bletchley. I mentioned this to his son Jeremy many years later, and he said, "Join the club." Yeah, well, this one couldn't be more apposite, really. I'm lucky than everybody. I've had one job this year, and it was Albenberg's stunning Wozzeck in Munich. And it's funny, context is everything, isn't it? If you sing a lullaby next to a war song, it suddenly stops being a lullaby and it's about the wife missing the soldier husband and the possibility that the child would be without a father. So this, in time of COVID, became something altogether different. Wozzeck is estranged, really, from his wife. She doesn't love him anymore. He knows it. She's having an affair. And he's working so hard. They're both just struggling to get by. Why is he in his underpants? Well, that's just me. I mean, when you're any of us are on the stage, that's kind of what you feel like. You're naked. Only a bit of fun. But he comes back from the cafe and says, "Da ist wieder Geld." Here is some money, Marie. That's from the Hauptmann, the lieutenant, and this is from the doctor. And she goes, "Thank you." And he says, I've got to go back to work. And that's the one thing that you young singers haven't got this year, isn't it? It's lovely to think of the things we've gained from this year, but what the performing artists haven't had is wages. A new way of looking at the world doesn't put food on the table. So that's what this drawing is about. Why the puppets? Just happened to be puppets in this production that I was doing. And, we're all puppets, aren't we? On strings of some sort. They often appear in my drawings.